Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Former West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee today launched a sharp attack on the BJP, accusing it of targeting Trinamool Congress leaders and workers and declaring that the ruling party would have to kill her if it wanted to silence her or finish the TMC. Now, in a video message, Banerjee broke her silence on the recent rebellions within the party and alleged harassment of the Trinamool Congress leaders, saying that the BJP had left no stone unturned in its attempts to intimidate the party. I'm going to quote her, what Mamata Banerjee exactly has said, and then I'll play out the bite also, the video message. She says, to quote, to silence me, you would have to kill me. Yes, you didn't spare any effort on that. Then she claimed that several party leaders had faced attacks and humiliation, naming senior leaders like Mahua Moitra, Abhishek Banerjee, and also Kalyan Banerjee. In fact, she says, whom haven't you assaulted? You attacked Mahua, Abhishek, Kalyan, you attacked my home. That's what she said in the message. Now, these remarks come at a time when TMC is grappling with its biggest internal challenge in years. A dissident camp led by Ritabrita Banerjee has claimed the backing of around 60 MLAs. Meanwhile, at least 20 rebel lawmakers merged with a little-known Tripura-based party, NCPI. Now, she also, in fact, said that many of my colleagues are languishing in lockups, forced to sleep on the bare floor. Some are being paraded with ropes around their waists and shackles on their legs. Some have had their heads shaved. Others have had wild substances thrown at them. It is shameful even to mention it. And then she says that despite what she described as attempts to suppress the party, Trinamool would continue its political fight and would not be intimidated. I'm going to show the video message which he has put out this morning, and then we will come to the big questions emerging from the video. Let's play that out.
ভাবেন কি অল ইন্ডিয়া তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস মরে গেছে? মনে রাখবেন, আপনার পক্ষে আছে বলে সরকার, আপনি তাকে দিয়ে নির্বাচন কমিশনের কাছে কমপ্লেন করিয়ে আপনি সিম্বল কেড়ে নিতে পারেন। যদিও আমরা জানি সিম্বল আপনার পক্ষে যাবে না, কিন্তু ধরে নিলাম যদি ভ্যানিশ কুমার বাবু আমাদের পার্টিকে ফিনিশ করার জন্য ইলেকশনটাও করেছেন, যদি সিম্বল দিয়েও দেয় তাতে কি যায় আসে? সিম্বল সেটাই হয় যেটা সাধারণ মানুষ গ্রহণ করে, তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসরা গ্রহণ করে। আমি এই সিম্বল দিয়ে 1 মাস 22 দিনের মাথায় আমি কিন্তু লড়াইটা করেছিলাম। তখন আমি সিম্বলটাও কাউকে চেনাতে পারিনি। আর এখন দরকার আমি গলায় সিম্বলটা ঝুলিয়ে মানুষের কাছে যখন বেরোবো, আপনারা কি আমার কণ্ঠরোধ করতে পারবেন? অত সস্তা নয়। হ্যাঁ, কণ্ঠরোধ করতে গেলে আপনাদের আমাকে প্রাণে মেরে ফেলতে হবে। তার তো চেষ্টা কম করেননি। কাকে মারেননি? মহুয়াকে অ্যাটাক করেছেন।
So she's listing the names of the leaders who were attacked. But the big question is that what does this video message indicate? Is Mamata back as a fighter? Where is the opposition in the state? And does this video have reasons to worry for BJP? Coming as it does, this video comes just a few days before Mamata observes the Martyrs Rally, which she holds every year, that is around 21st July. And are there reasons for BJP to worry after this video message? What does it go to show? These are the big questions we'll be asking. Joining me this evening is Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much, Shikha, for joining. We have Charles Nandi, spokesperson of the BJP West Bengal, and we have Chandan Ghosh, spokesperson of West Bengal Congress. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining. And let me begin with Shikha, just to get a perspective. Shikha, what does this video message indicate, where she speaks about the fact that to silence me, you will have to kill me? That's the line which is quoted by all the newspapers today.
Right, Neelu, actually, Mamata's comment, to silence me, you must kill me, translates very badly from Bengali, because Bengali has its own peculiarities. So, given that it's not quite as, it's dramatic, but it's not quite as dramatic as it seems in English. But because that is an idiomatic phrase. Having said that, let us look at why Mamata is talking the way she is. One, she needs to start sort of heating up the noise for ahead of the 21 July rally that is an annual event for the Trinamool Congress. It's almost like its birth date. Uh, that is one, because that is going to be a very, very interesting date, because the Congress lays claim to it, quite rightly, because that movement was belonged to the Yuva Congress. Uh, Secondly, there are these rebels who are also claiming to be the real Trinamool, who are going to lay claim to it. And then there's Mamata Banerjee. Now, Mamata Banerjee made a much more interesting statement in that same speech, which is that I am not that easy to ignore or kill off. If I go out, then there will be consequences. Now, is she actually that confident of the consequences? Does she know what are these consequences, or is she trying through this one statement to sort of uh, measure the feedback that comes in following it from her own side, not from the not, it doesn't matter what the BJP has to say about it or the Congress has to say about it, because at this point she's actually mapping her own, she's trying to measure the feedback from her own side. uh, that said, the question you raise is very interesting. Is the opposition dead in West Bengal? Or is it in the ICU? Where is it? My understanding is, on the contrary, the opposition seems to be turning into a bit of a thorn in the BJP's flesh. Even after a spectacular victory, an entirely unexpected victory, uh, suddenly it finds that the opposition is actually more active than it was in the past. Than it was even, I mean, apart from the 5 years when, just before, between 2021 and 2026, even during that period, the opposition wasn't quite as much a thorn in Mamata Banerjee's side as the opposition seems to be a thorn in Suvendu Adhikari's side. The reason why I'm saying this is because the opposition is not emerging as a big rally, a big face, a big noise, or anything like that. It is working on the ground. It is working across the state in little protests. And that is a very difficult thing to contain, because
So,
you can
Sushita,
put out
are you
you
saying,
can put out a big, hang on, let me just finish the analogy. It's like putting out a big fire and putting out small fires. How many small fires can you actually put out? So yes, your
no, I
question.
was I was asking that despite the brute majority which BJP has got, do you see a wave of sympathy for Mamata Banerjee, and which is why we see that non-perceivable sort of an opposition, which is burning in every family or maybe in every household, where they feel that something wrong has been done to Mamata Banerjee.
I don't think that is the case. I don't think that is the case at all. I think that if you look at just the Baraipur, the rape and murder of this little girl, what has happened is that there is one lot of people very noisily are approving of the encounter killing, saying this is real justice. Justice has been short and justice has been hard, and that's what is needed in this state, which had gone to the dogs. It's a matter of perspective. If this is the perspective that the BJP nurtured. This is the narrative that the BJP produced during the election campaign. But there is also the counter argument, which is that BJP had promised zero tolerance. And the words they used were zero tolerance. Zero tolerance to attacks on women, to attacks of this nature. Now, this is not zero tolerance. This is mob justice. This is playing to a gallery which is consumed by a bloodlust, which has been stoked by statements that have come out of the chief minister's mouth. Shockingly, it's not that he's the only one. There are other chief ministers, including Mamata Banerjee herself, who made the statement, and in fact, West Bengal has a law about it, that these listing the worst of crimes against women in the Arjikar. It was in the context of the Arjikar rape and murder case, saying that capital punishment is what is the only sort of punishment that is deserved in this case. Now, this is the executive taking over the job of the judiciary, to be very pointed in my criticism. But that part, what is it? Zero tolerance towards this kind of crime. The police will act as per the law. Is this what is playing out? A mob lynching. Number one, there is a mob lynching. Number two, there is there's an encounter in which the police is involved, and there is this one lot of people who have been baying for blood anyway, like hounds. They've been baying for blood. Their bloodlust is satisfied. But what about the other lot of people who are saying that this is completely unacceptable way of A, investigating a crime, and B, making justice available to all sides. The problem with this issue is that this between the mob lynching and the bloodlust and this mob justice that has taken place, the child and the problem of children being targeted by people, of children being sold as commodity. The government has not announced a single policy measure, a single protective scheme. I mean, they need to at least take education and information down to the grassroots. They've announced nothing about it. The child has disappeared. What is today the issue is not the child, not the violence against the child, not the crime against the child, but crime itself. I mean, this is a kind of crazy government that's going on. Having said that, so in that situation, the opposition is getting a lot of opportunities. And it's not enough for the chief minister to say, there's one party, just because it's won one seat, it's making a lot of noise. And this is straight away a reference to the CPM. It seems that the CPM, in its little fires approach to evictions, to bulldozers, to the SIR, to the Annapurna Bhandar exclusions, is getting under the skin. Therefore, the opposition as a whole, as and when Mamata Banerjee comes out and hits the streets the way she has, and she starts mobilizing, depending on how much she can mobilize, this is going to be a very, very interesting situation, because I don't think the BJP has ever faced, BJP as a party across the country has ever faced a situation like this.
Right. Let me get in Charles Nandi now. Charles, how would you see Mamata Banerjee's video, and where she has basically pointed fingers at BJP? That look what is happening, this kind of a humiliation, this kind of an insult, assault has never taken place. She talks about those egg attacks. Then she talks about how her own cadre people, they've been tied around the waist, their heads have been shaved. What kind of a rule is this? And
See,
isn't
first
BJP
thing is that
answerable to this? Yes, Charles.
Mamta's entire politics is based on three things. One is politics of lies, one is politics of gimmick, and third one is dramabaji. If you see her brand of politics in Bengal past 3 decades, it is absolute dramabaji. And she is talking about that BJP wants to eliminate her. Why should BJP eliminate her? She is already eliminated from the minds of Bengal. She is already uprooted from the minds of Bengal. So there is no Mamata Banerjee, no existence of Trinamool in
I
Bengal.
want answers on the allegations which Mamata Banerjee has alleged today. She has leveled
That's what I'm
allegations
That's what I'm
about
answering.
the egg attack, the humiliation, the breaking up of the party. Isn't BJP answerable and accountable to this?
No, first thing is that these law and order issues, people are not ready to listen to Mamata Banerjee because, as you know, when she was the chief minister only 2 months back, High Court says, Supreme Court said first that there is a complete breakdown of law and order in West Bengal. That's what Supreme Court said. And High Court said after huge violence in 2021 assembly polls, High Court says there is no rule of laws, there is rule of rulers. So people of Bengal are not ready to listen to Mamata Banerjee. What Mamata Banerjee is saying is absolutely nonsense, and her argument is not going to be, at least is not going to
No,
convince the
shall
people
we
of Bengal.
consider this as a nonsense, Charles? Should we consider this as a nonsense or as something to which BJP doesn't have a reply? No matter how much lawlessness
No,
existed,
lawlessness, we are
see,
not going
no,
to
no,
listen
just
to Mamata Banerjee.
allow me to ask you. I have a question
if
for you
you,
only, Charles. I have a question for you, so please hear my question. I'm saying that no matter how much lawlessness was there, I'm not siding with her lawlessness. But the point is, did we see egg attacks? Did we see a breaking up of the party? Did we see people's heads being tonsured? Did we see people being tied around the waist and sent to jails? Did we see that?
no, first thing is that there is a fundamental difference between Mamata Banerjee government and BJP government. If you go by Mamata Banerjee government during her government's rape incident, Kamduni rape, after Kamduni rape, Mamata Banerjee said that if there is a body, so you have to suffer because of some cold and cough. So if there is a society, there can be a rape after Kamduni rape. After Parkchit rape, Mamata Banerjee said when a Christian lady was raped, gang raped on Park Street, she said she was drinking at a bar, so she was raped. And after Haskali rape, she said because of a love affair. So that was Mamata Banerjee's stance. And in BJP's tenure, what Suvendu Adhikari said, Suvendu Adhikari never became an IO. She did not comment on the rape. First day she said, Suvendu Adhikari specifically said, there will be a capital punishment. There will be all the accused to be arrested, and they were arrested. That is number one. And mob lynching, as Shikha Mukherjee was talking about, regarding mob lynching, there was a communal angle. A Hindu boy, innocent boy, he was lynched by some Trinamooli jihadis and left altars. Suvendu Adhikari, our chief minister, specifically said, nobody is going to be spared. There will be an exemplary punishment regarding mob lynching. And as Shikha was saying that unexpected victory of BJP in West Bengal, I think she could not see writing on the walls that Mamata Banerjee is going to lose this time.
Let me get in Chandan here. The Chandan, do we see the re-emergence of Mamata as a fighter? After seeing this video message, what do you think would the people of Bengal feel? And people who thought, like what Charles also said, that she's been eliminated already politically and people don't want to hear what she's saying. But what do you have to say?
I must tell you, Nilu, here, after hearing Sika and Charles, that the right kind of a perspective Sika has explained, and that is what the Bengal is experiencing. There's no doubt of it. And Charles has an obligation to protect the Suvendu Adhikari's government and the action. But the major question is here, Mamata Banerjee, whether she's coming back with the big bang or not, and that is where it is not a little time. I mean, by this little time, we cannot basically, just really bet on it. But this is where Mamata Banerjee's emergence that we had experienced before. And it is not only Mamata Banerjee. I must tell you, there had been a lot of examples in our country that's been, the decimated part leaders had really emerged and it's been very prominent in the history. So we can really, we can't challenge it. But it is where exactly within 63, 64 days, I don't think this is a great span of time after losing the power. So, however, in the recent elections, she would be just preparing her ground to come back. There's no doubt of it. We have, being the opposition unit, we have every respect for every single party who is in opposition or the government or any particular leader who can re-emerge as very prominent as she was or he was. But the basic question is that how she got the opportunity to re-emerge her, prominence in this particular backdrop. She was decimated by 65 days and her party has been almost gone in the wind. So there is no question, and everybody is too surprised and taken aback if that is a fate of a party which had ruled 15 years since and could have made this kind of fate. There could have been a chance also for the government that is doing by 65 days. Another 650 days, there would be the different fate. This could have been. I mean to say that you must understand why we are just talking about this. What has been the case which can be registered as a significant improvement or significant development by the power change by this particular time, but we had already experienced or we have been experiencing each day the mightiness of the government and intolerance attitude is meted out towards the people of Bengal across the political lines and especially the opposition parties. There could have not been to justify. The chief minister could have not commented on it or should have not commented on this particular issue and where he has commented and where he had surprised the kind of notion that the judiciary system could have really mastered of. But we have found chief minister has decided for. Chief minister has been given the judgment. Chief minister knows who is right, who is wrong. Chief minister knows that how the justice system would work. Chief minister justifies mob lynching. Chief minister justifies again a person who is being encountered. So where the law is, it's a contradictory. If you are going to check that the judiciary system has to be positioned, then you must respect that encounter has to be proved so clearly and it should have not taken place in the first place because people of Bengal understand this very clearly. This is a very clear signal, very positive signal that how Chief Minister's words are really practically shown through the action of the police, through this kind of encounter, and that is what Bengal never experienced before. So if you are going to really analyze this issue, then we must say there is no admission, there is no otherwise but to admit that Mamata Banerjee's re-entry in the prominence of the Bengal's politics is being completely given the space by the BJP and the kind of, the mightiness that's been shown by the BJP as well as the chief minister. Basically, by 65 days, I tell you, Nilu, there have been a lot of grievances. Again, as I told you, we all experience in Bengal that a party which has ruled 15 years, how could be decimated almost by 60, 65 days? That is equally the question the other side, that a party which has been given the massive mandate, how could this party is being declining and dwindling so fast the popular base? That is also another question, the other side. So opposition has to work for
Chandan,
these.
it's very clear from what you are saying that it is a re-emergence. At least it appears like a re-emergence of Mamata Banerjee.
Absolutely.
She's putting up her fighter spirit. She's also enthusing her cadres, whatever little is available now with her or whatever is sticking with her. Shikha, I'll come to you now for the concluding comments. So are we seeing the return of Mamata Banerjee? And she's created the right sound and noise just before the Martyrs rally on 21st. Yes, Shikha, unmute yourself.
Yeah. I think what we are seeing is Mamata Banerjee stepping out of the door. Now, stepping out of the door is a very far cry from actually going down the street. She has yet to do that. And by stepping out of the door, if the kind of reaction that one is seeing is any measure, then her stepping out itself is a huge signal, an uncomfortable signal for the ruling dispensation. Why? Because it does mean that having poached 60 of her MLAs out of the 80 who won the election in West Bengal, having poached or convinced 20 of them to merge with a non-existent, effectively non-existent party, an unregistered party, as it were, in the Election Commission manual, the BJP thought that it had effectively finished the Trinamool Congress, and Mamata Banerjee would be a devastated figure who would not show her face. The problem is that Mamata Banerjee is a figure who is not in hiding. She is not at all reluctant to show her face. She seems now quite eager to show her face. And the difference is that I think the BJP underestimated the fact that a party is not equivalent to the elected legislators. The elected legislators are only a fraction, a selected number of the total number of people who the party represents. So if the party represents about 40% of the electorate, then these few legislators do not amount to the party. I think that's the mistake. And I think Mamata Banerjee's insistence that she doesn't really care whether these elected people have left her party, but she cares about the grassroots, about people. And if you look at her today, the statement that she's issued, she's talking about people at the her leaders at the grassroots who are being humiliated, who are being mistreated, who are being jailed in terrible conditions. She is reaching out to the grassroots leadership that matters most for political parties. That is how the Congress has survived as the opposition in West Bengal for 50 years. That is how the CPM has survived as the opposition in West Bengal for 15 years. Now, this is something that the BJP probably thought that since this is an entirely personality-driven party of a cult worship sort, that it would implode with the exit of all these people. That is not the case. Therefore, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens 21st July onwards.
All right. So I'll take the concluding comments from Charles and Chandan. Charles, to you first. So what does it mean now? Mamata Banerjee looks energized again, as she's always been. Her spirit has not been eliminated at all, it seems. Like what you said, that she's already politically eliminated. She doesn't look like a leader on that, who's going on that line, that she's disappointed or she's disheartened or she will not come back flying with her politics. She does seem to be returning. So are there reasons to worry for the BJP now?
See, your question has two aspects. One is national, pan-India, and one is regional. If you go by national aspect, only Mrs. Gandhi made a huge comeback after 77. She was wiped out, and she made a comeback in the history of political history. In 1980 January, she made a comeback as Prime Minister. That was the only history nationally. And then come to Bengal. If you go by Bengal's political history, once Bengal voted out somebody, any political party from power, go by CPIM, they were out of power in 2011. After that, CPM is almost non-existence. This time only they got one MLA. And go by Congress, after losing power, they have become signboard. And for Mamata Banerjee, coming back to power is difficult. Mrs. Gandhi came back to power because age was in her side. She was only 60, 62 when the second time she came back as prime minister in 1980 January. But during in Mamata Banerjee's case, Mamata Banerjee is already nearing, I think, 74. That is age. Number two is that when Mamata Banerjee fought against communists, she was young. She had her young brigade with her, like Madan Mitra, then your Pankaj Banerjee, who is now dead, then Partho Chatterjee, Mukul Roy. Many of many of them are no more. Many of them are at home because they were jailed. So Mamata Banerjee alone cannot make a comeback. It's impossible.
Saying that Mamata Banerjee all by herself cannot return. Chandan, what would you say towards the end?
See, I'll have nothing to say further because we had definitely several examples, in spite of rather, Mrs. Gandhi's example was Charles given. I must tell you that re-emergence is something where the political space is created. Now, it is a vacuum that is created in somebody or any political party or the leader who tries to really take the place of it, and that is where it is. And I believe, as I just repeat myself, as I said before, that a 15 years ruling party could have been decimated by only maybe a month or maybe 60 days, rather to say. And by 60, 65 days, if a party that rules like this, I don't know where it's going to be the effect. So it's not the question. History definitely makes its turn, and it happens. So definitely we are going to experience some a specific government that is going to rule with the law, not against the law. If that is, then there would be many prominent leaders to come back in making the stage in Bengal. So there's no doubt of it. And BJP's fate is going to be a very short term. That's there.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see how Mamata re-emerges, how she comes back on the street, how she interacts with the people. That's very, very important. And I think everybody would be keenly watching those developments there. Thank you so much, Shikha Mukherjee, Charles Nandi, Chandan. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.